Hi everybody, I'm back. It's been a little bit longer in between videos than is typical for me, but a lot's been going on. I am back with some pickups videos and a couple of just kind of what's been going on type of updates. If you've been watching my videos and you saw the one about the apartment situation, the old living situation, and going into our house then, yeah, we are out of the hell apartment. Everything is done with that. We are free from them forever, and we have just a couple weeks left until we can move into our new place. We're still in that temporary spot in between. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will link that video in the description below and at the end so you can catch up with that whole debacle. So yeah, it's just been kind of life as usual, you know, getting along, all that craziness in between, little things happening here or there. I had one event that's kind of funny now, but whatever at the time. The family dog at my in-laws is very fun and loving, but crazy. And we had one incident where she follows me around a lot, especially when my wife's sister is not home. You've seen her on especially Black Friday videos and stuff. Katie, the dog, absolutely loves her as well. And when she's gone to college and we were here for a few weeks before she got back, the dog just like attached herself to me, Minnie, the puppy there. So she'll follow me around, and the one night I was coming down the stairs and she was just super excited and exuberant and crazy and going around, and she went right in between my legs, and it was the perfect timing where she went in between my legs and somehow I tripped her, my foot hitting her, and she tripped me, so she landed on the stairs right in front of where my foot was about to land, like almost on the dog, and it was all within half a second that like my leg just as a reaction, without even thinking, without me even realizing what happened, that my leg pulled up so I wasn't going to step on her, but then my other leg was already coming up and I wasn't anywhere near a railing or anything, so I just like slammed down on the steps and slid down. Something that's literally never happened to me before in my life, so it was like shocking. I've never like had that type of, I say that because we joke all the time about how my wife and her mother have a tendency to trip over nothing, just fall over their own feet. But now it's you know, I can never make a joke about that again because I fell down the stairs. But the dog, like, it was just kind of like she tried to go as I was going under, down the stairs. She went in between my legs and she got tripped herself over like my foot as it was coming through, and I almost stepped on her, and just all within a fraction of a second, and I bam slammed right on my back so that I couldn't move for a second. And it was just like I scraped my elbow to where you can actually see a little bit of bone on my elbow. It's pretty much, you know, I'm not going to show you it's mostly healed up now, but yeah, it's a little bit of scarring and stuff, but you don't want to see that. But yeah, I don't have to have a wrap on it or anything anymore. It's past that point. This was a few weeks ago at least. And yeah, so I couldn't even stand up straight at first. Like, I just hit literally somehow perfectly the angle of the stairs, the way I hit, just hit right on my spine. And I went at one point and to like kind of lie down because like sitting was uncomfortable, and I tried to like kind of lie down on my side on the bed, and I moved my leg in such a weird way, and Amanda looked over because there was this loud pop, and like something shifted and suddenly I could stand up straight again. So something was definitely out of place, and it was that was an interesting thing, and just in like the middle of a regular week on top of everything that was going on. But yeah, just that's been about it. Other than that, you know, it's been standard day in, day out kind of stuff, just waiting until we move. We're super excited. Now we have in storage anything that we needed to have replaced, like some of the media shelves and stuff. Some of them we didn't take with us, and we replaced them with better shelving that's now in storage waiting, so we can kind of set it up the weekend we move in, because we have a couple of days off together to just kind of set it up. And we have that in storage. Our new projector is there, which is great. We're going to have set up. So everything is like we're like ready to go, but we still have to wait a few weeks. But in the meantime, I have a pickups video here to do, and the first one, these are all like birthday presents that I got because I had a birthday recently. The one though I did get almost a month ago, about 3.5 weeks ago or so. My wife gave me one of the gifts from her, Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition on the Switch, and I just beat this about 1.5 years ago or so on the 360 and loved it. And I actually prefer this version overall. I actually had a better experience the second time around. One, I like the ability to take it portably and also on TV. It's the same thing with every Switch game, where unless there's some kind of major issue or something really missing, I'm always going to like the Switch version because I like the option of portable or TV. It was just one or the other. Maybe I should choose PS4, but the ability to do both is why I love the Switch version of games, and I love just all the extra content in this one, the little refinements, everything about the experience of this. I actually prefer my second time around with this game, playing it on the Switch as compared to the 360, and I already really liked it too. It's definitely still my second favorite Tales game behind Abyss. Really enjoyed it. She gave this to me weeks ago because she has been on a mission to keep me off of the PS4 because Amanda has been playing the PS4 almost every day. She's really loving that console, which is funny because normally I'm the PlayStation guy and she's much more the Nintendo guy, but this generation has been totally flipped. She actually has, you'll see when we do eventually, after removal, we're going to do a huge pickups video, a couple of them actually, with some different stuff, and she's been getting some PS4 games off eBay, and like she had a gift card and things like that, and she's been finding cheap PS4 games, so she's been playing that endlessly, just about every day, and you know, keeping me on the Switch. And the other thing that she got me then eventually, because I ended up beating this. I just played for like a little bit every night and a little bit on weekends, and over the course of those few weeks or whatever, I ended up blasting through this and really enjoying it. I went through, even though I did more my second playthrough because I kind of knew where everything was and had to kind of go through the storyline, having beaten it not that long ago. I actually put slightly fewer hours my second time, even though I did more, just kind of knowing what you're doing type of thing. So when I beat that, she was excited to give me my next birthday present here, which is the Crash remaster here. I really enjoyed this, the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, and it gives me very high hopes for the remaster of Crash Team Racing, because that is my favorite multiplayer game ever, period. Favorite Crash game, favorite racing game, just favorite multiplayer game ever. I love that game on PS1, so I'm very excited for that because this is really good. I'm enjoying this very much. I haven't played too much of it yet. I played a little bit of Crash 1, maybe a quarter of the way through Crash 2. Only had it for less than a week, but what I've been playing, I've really been enjoying. I think it's a really good remaster. It definitely, I remember when it came out, some people saying it feels a little bit more difficult than the originals, and yeah, I definitely see that. There seems to be just this slight less margin for error. Everything has to be, it's kind of almost perfect or nothing for when you're dodging things or making jumps, or it's just kind of like there's this tiny little bit where it's like, I feel like I should have made that, but I didn't quite, so it touched the edge of me and ended up being crushed, or, it looks like I kind of made the jump, but I didn't quite make it, so it's a little bit more difficult. But overall, it's not really, I don't feel like it's to its detriment at all. I don't think it's a huge jump of difficulty. It's just a tiny little bit where, like, some of those times where you just kind of think you're like, oh, I just made it by like the skin of my teeth, that little bit, you actually don't make it in this, for where I feel like you might have made it on the PS1, where it's just that tiny little bit difference in those close call moments. But outside of those moments, it feels just like a really good remaster and very true to the original game, so that's fantastic. And the other thing that she got me was, I really like this. We both grew up loving a lot of 90s era animation. I really think that was one of the golden ages for a certain type of animation. I think the 60s and 70s were really good for the Hanna-Barbera type animation, but then in the 90s I think you really got a lot of great superhero shows, and even something like Disney's Gargoyles, slightly more action heavy, slightly darker in a way, children's entertainment, things like Batman and Spider-Man, and of course, really cool here, the 90s era, X-Men animated series was, I think that's probably one of my top 3 or 4 animated series from that era. Easily just fantastic, one of the best opening theme songs. I absolutely love it. And when I think of the X-Men, throughout their entire storied history up to the modern movies and things like that, the first thing that comes to my mind is the X-Men looking like this. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Just like when someone says Batman, I picture the 90s animated series. I picture, Mark Hamill as the Joker. So, and going with the 90s theme then, I also got for my birthday this Goosebumps Horrorland, which I like this one because whenever you see Horrorland, it's always the purple kind of background, the purple theming. I don't really see it very often with this sort of red theming. So I like that because it's a little bit different compared to what I normally find. And Amanda also got me this huge stack of brand new sealed, interesting martial arts movies. Fantastic. I love this kind of stuff. So a lot of them are like, wow, that was copied off of a not so great video CD already. A lot of these are, like Passion Pictures and like all these different ones that you find with the sort of bootleg. They're legit releases, but they're like bootleg covers and things like that. Like you have Jackie Chan, Master with Cracked Fingers. I have a release with like the actual picture from that movie, but here they used the Super Cop cover from Police Story 3 for Master with Cracked Fingers, which is really funny. a couple different ones here. The for me, I think my favorite of this bunch, just because it's something about it is so great, because Bolo Young is amazing. There's something about that guy that's so cool and everything he's in. So you have Chinese Hercules, Bolo, and you have Legend of the Eight Samurai, Sony Chiba. I actually really like this cover. It's really cool looking. Sony Chiba, some really good movies over the years. This one is a very interesting fantasy one. That's very different from other stuff you'll see of his, like GI Samurai or any like the Street Fighter movies. We have Champ versus Champ. Another one which takes a picture of Jackie from a totally different era completely and puts it on an older one. We have Snake and Crane, Arts of Shaolin. Dragon Lee versus the Five Brothers. One I've not seen at all, actually. I have a couple Dragon Lee ones here that I have not seen, haven't opened up yet just to check out. Dragon Lee in Dragon Claws. This one, yeah, City Dragon. I gotta check this one out. I haven't looked at this one yet, but it just looks like something you would see on like a myriad of different YouTube channels where they just look at bad movies and do different commentaries. This looks like something that would end up on there. It looks like a Red Letter Media episode. I think it looks great. Dragon Fury. So that's going to keep me busy for a while, checking those things out. And the type of thing where sometimes the quality can be so bad where you're like, I don't think I can marathon a bunch of these. Like, they're really good, fun, one at a time type of thing. For my brother then, he gave me this VHS box set, and man is like, oh god, more VHS. We have so much, but Gone with the Wind. So now I have, it's a film that I have Lasers box set and now a VHS box set. So it's really cool here. Slides out. Oops, I can keep that falling out here. With the little tablet there, or pamphlet, and the two VHS tapes. So, oh, there we go. Pretty nice 2-tape release there. And I have one other thing coming in the mail here. For my birthday, I got a gift card, and it's something that deserves its own video, and it's coming from far away, so it'll take a little while, hopefully by the end of the month, I'm thinking. And yeah, I'll give you just a couple of hints here. If you like the 80s and you like things like Power Rangers, or you like, you know, Super Sentai, Metal Heroes, Kamen Rider, that type of stuff, if you're into that, you're probably going to want to check out this next pickups video, because I got something amazing coming, and yeah, I'm very, very excited for it. So other than that, I have been to the theaters a few times, which it's been months really since I've gone to the theaters to see something, so I was happy to go out and see a few things, and we're going to end up seeing of course the Pikachu movie, the Pokemon movie, coming out pretty soon. It looks pretty interesting. We have high hopes for that being what it is, just like a fun, you know, video game movie type thing. We're going to be able to go see that. Hopefully we'll take Katie along with us and do it just a fun day. And we did see Hellboy. Yeah, we saw Hellboy. We really wanted to see it, even though its reviews were terrible. And even people that we know that really like Hellboy, either as comic book fans or people that are fans of the Ron Perlman movies, the Del Toro movies, you know, people from both camps, or people that like both, people from like every different faction of the Hellboy fandom, we're all like, not so good. We're like, oh, I can't all be that terrible. And we're going in with an open mind and realizing that it's very different. Like, we're going in kind of with a fresh slate in our mind, not trying to relate it to the, you know, Del Toro, Ron Perlman movies. It's something different. It's a new take. Let's judge it on its own merit. It was not very good. Even judging it on its own merit, it was not very good. It was not the worst movie I've ever seen by far. Like, it is definitely, I've seen far worse, but it was pretty bad and disappointing, because I really was going in with, like, I feel like maybe people are just expecting too much from it, or relating it too much to other Hellboy things, and gonna just make it, you know, kind of in a vacuum type thing, watch it. And even then, it was just kind of mediocre. It wasn't horrendous, it was just kind of mediocre, and that was disappointing, because I really was hoping that, okay, maybe the humor's gonna fall flat and the story's gonna be a bit of a mess, but maybe the effects will blow me away and there'll be some really cool scenes. And there were a few cool moments in it, but not enough to not enough for the visual spectacle to save where it was lacking in other places, and really the humor really fell flat. That was really the thing that stuck out the most, because in a theater no one laughed. Like, it wasn't a single instance of someone even just kind of like an audible chuckle, which even if you're you're in a theater environment, even if you don't find the movie funny, there's gonna be somebody, but there was nothing. It was just dead silence from beginning to end. And that was just kind of the reaction to the whole thing. It had moments though, like it had moments with Baba Yaga, with that whole scene. I thought was really cool, really well done, but it kind of came out of nowhere and was a good example of how throughout the entire thing it took little snippets from way too many Hellboy stories and had way too many little nods to people that know things about Hellboy through the comics and things like that, but they all felt just kind of slapped in there and kind of like haphazardly, and they weren't cohesive to the whole of the narrative. And it was this kind of thing where if you're going to do that and give these little nods to people that know more about Hellboy, you also have to make them make sense within the context of the film to someone who's maybe never seen anything about Hellboy or has only seen those first two movies. And it didn't work, and everything just felt like way too many ideas that were thrown into one movie, and not a single one of them was fleshed out enough to really work. And there's so much more. I could go on and on, but there's so much about that movie that just didn't work. But there were so many little okay to good moments that I kept wanting it to work. I think I was more disappointed because there were things within it that had potential than if it was just flat out terrible from beginning to end. And I think it would have been less of a disappointment than those little moments, those little rays of hope really made the overall experience more depressing, because like, what could have been type thing. So that we saw that, and the big thing I saw, I am a backer for the Deep Space Nine documentary, and went and saw that it's one time with Fathom Events in theaters, and that was fantastic. I really enjoyed seeing it for the fourth time, because they had like a backer stream before then. And when that comes out, it comes out August 6th in stores. We'll get it sometime at the time of filming. This hasn't been announced the date yet, but sometime before then, backers will get it. I'll do an unboxing and talk more in detail about that when I do that. But just to give it just a quick promotion, I guess, really, go pre-order it. go get it if you are a Star Trek fan at all. Even if Deep Space Nine is not one of your favorite series, even if your favorite's the original or TNG or Voyager or Enterprise or Discovery or whatever, no matter what type of Star Trek fan you are, this is going to be an enjoyable experience. I think that's what's really great about it, is it's not just a love letter to the series. It's not just for hardcore Deep Space Nine fans, and that's kind of, they touched on that in there's a sequence in the credits where they talk about, hey, how come we didn't talk about this or that or whatever, and like, well, this would have been 8 hours long, we can't talk about everything, we had to pick and choose. And as a hardcore Deep Space Nine fan, you're like, oh, I would have watched the 8-hour one, I want to see everything. There will be special features and things like that, but it also, Ira was right, it makes the most sense to do what they did and pare it down to this thing that really shows you the essence of Deep Space Nine and what it was and what it did within the time frame of when it was coming out in the 90s, and really just, it's a great look at the series without being just, pat yourself on the back fan service, just like gushing over, it's the greatest thing ever made. Even if you feel that way, it's just kind of, it's not just pandering to the fans, it's something that anyone can enjoy no matter what your interest level is. There's something in there that I think just about anyone will find it to be an interesting documentary. It's just overall a really great production. It looks fantastic, and there's some really cool animated sequences. They do just a quick first episode of a season 8, just kind of live in your imagination type thing, and the whole thing's put together really, really well. So if you are a fan of Star Trek at all, any series, any vein, check it out. It's not just something that is just for Deep Space Nine fans, even though those would be obviously the consumers that'll enjoy it the most. It's not just for people that are huge Deep Space Nine fans like myself. It's for anyone who just kind of likes Star Trek, and even if you aren't a Star Trek fan, you still might find it interesting. So definitely is something that is worth supporting. Get the Shout Factory DVD or Blu-ray. It is a great documentary. So I guess that's it for me now, and I will see you guys later.